and welcome back to JustRP, now 3.0. So obviously, if you couldn't tell by both that intro and the title, JustRP 3.0 has just released. Now what this means is a full wipe for the server. That means my inventory, our houses, our car, our vehicles, everything has been wiped from the server, same as we did going from 1.0 to 2.0. From 2.0 to 3.0, everything again is wiped. Now we do keep our memories, so we do know the people that we knew before, but all the rivalries that we had previously are now gone. Now there was a lot of reasons for this 3.0 and the reasons that we did it, and hopefully this will be our last kind of iteration or last time we have to wipe for quite a while on JustRP. But the main reasons for it we will go into in just a second, but before we do, I just want to say a big thanks to the whole team at JustRP, including the staff, the devs, and everything. Obviously, without them, the server wouldn't be where it is today. And I really think that just from what I've been checking out in 3.0 and hearing from different people, that 3.0 is going to be something very hopefully special. I will hopefully be on the server a lot more now, especially with 3.0 releasing. So be sure to watch out for some videos on JustRP, because this is going to be hopefully coming back into the light, and hopefully going to be another kind of main upload on the channel that is a little bit more consistent. Now let's just start off by again talking with the reasons for why we went from 2.0 to 3.0. We wiped and we redid the server and everything to go along with it, because there are quite a lot of reasons, or quite a couple important reasons that I figured I would talk about before showing off the server. Also, I am not going to be going into the starter jobs in this video. I am just going to be talking about a kind of general things about the server. I will make a separate video on all of these starter jobs, so be sure again to look out for that. But let's start off again with the reasons for the wipe. So the number one reason for the wipe is because we had this weird bug where the server would basically crash and drop all of the players pretty much every hour to 3 hours. Again, there's a bunch of different factors determining when it would happen, but this bug was really bad. It's the reason I stopped playing on JustRP. I couldn't really stream it, obviously, because of all the crashes and make the server look horrible, and obviously it was a little bit more difficult to make videos on them because of the crashes, so it'd be hard to kind of set up long-term heists as you're kind of expecting it to crash partially way through. So that was one of the main, or if not the biggest reason for us to be doing this 3.0, because now we are on a completely different framework, and at least so far the performance is a lot better. We also have LA roads now on the server, so the roads look a lot cleaner, and at least for me with this new server, their performance, or the performance, has improved vastly. So if you guys did have bad performance before on JustRP, I definitely recommend checking it out. But the crashing and the constant crashes was the main reason for the wipe. Now there was a lot of other sub reasons as well, such as the gun table that we had kind of ruined a lot of stuff, because a lot of people were able to get access to high class weapons very early on, and kind of in a way easily. I believe like a ton of people had SMGs for very cheap amounts. They had rifles, they had a bunch of different stuff that was, you know, obviously something that should be looked forward to in an end game, and people were getting these within 2 months in or a month in, and it was kind of ruining a lot, in my opinion, on the server. Pretty much everybody had these SMGs within a couple weeks of the server launch, and that was a huge downfall, I believe, of 2.0. And a lot of stuff that led with those guns obviously led to a lot of problems with both the economy and the player base, and obviously a lot more shooting because everyone now has these SMGs they want to go try out. So in all, the gun table was another big reason for the wipe, and I believe this way, or the way that we're going to be doing it in 3.0, is hopefully going to be a lot better, and will hopefully make it so it's more of a big thing when you get one, and not just something you can craft or anyone can kind of craft at a crafting table. And those are kind of the two biggest reasons, really. The guns as well as the constant crashes, in my opinion, were the two biggest reasons. Also, there was some problems apparently with the framework that we were running, which again of course leads into the crashes and a wide plethora of different problems, of course. But those are kind of the main reasons for us wiping, and again starting anew on JustRP 3.0 with a whole new framework. framework. So let's start talking a little bit about JustRP 3.0. So as you can see already, and I talked about a little earlier, there's of course LA roads mods. So that basically adds in these different roads, and in my opinion, a lot cleaner roads to all of the roads on the server. And I think it looks a lot nicer than vanilla GTA. But again, that's just a small visual thing. I also am running NVE, so stuff will look a little bit better. I mean, hopefully will look a little bit better to everyone as well. But let's get started, I guess. So first of all, there is the inventory. Now this is the inventory I believe that we had in 1.0, but it's now brought back for 3.0, and I honestly love this inventory. I like it a lot better than the one we had in 2.0. I feel like this one is a lot more intuitive, and I really like the style of the different kind of weight bars. So if I move stuff over here, you'll see it weight go up gradually. Say I move stuff over, you'll see it go up gradually. I really think that's a really nice touch, and I think it looks really good. So I actually really like the inventory. It's again pretty basic. You don't really need anything too crazy for an inventory. The same usual use, amount, and close, everything as normal as it usually is. So let's not talk about the inventory too much. But the next big feature is of course the phone, which I mean every server has to have a good phone. So let's start taking a look at ours. So again, I really like the phone so far. I've looked into it a little bit, but let's look into it right now. So starting off, we of course have the usual yellow pages. From here you can see different people putting ads out. You can obviously call them or create your own adverts. Same thing as pretty much every single server that has this. Again, nothing too special here. Next is going to be your vehicles. So of course, only thing we have is our BMX bike, since that's the only vehicle I've actually bought, since again you start off with 10,000 and I don't exactly have enough money for a real good vehicle, and I don't want to be buying any crappy vehicles right off the start, as I want to probably save up for a pretty decent one, hopefully. The next app we're going to be talking about is the My Properties app. Now this one's pretty self-explanatory. You just click on it, it shows you all of your properties that you own. Again, we just have our Alta Street apartment, so there's not really too much to see here. And let's keep going across with this pretty fast. We can go over to My Keys. You can just get your keys back instantly. If you relog or crash and you don't have your car keys, you can just hit this button and get all of your keys at once. Next, we have the web app, which I do not believe is working at the moment, so we will skip past that one. We now have work, which if we're employed, we're able to see our different work jobs here, which again, we're unemployed, so there's again not much to see in this tab. Let's keep going on. We have My Info next. Here you can check your bank balance, your cash, as well as your different licenses and your main job. Keep moving along. We can check your email here. Pretty obvious emails for when you get something, either when you go to Pillbox, you go to jail and you're fined, you talk with NPCs, different emails will show up here. Next is going to be the locations app. Here you can set in different GPS markers to different areas. So say I wanted to go to the garage H, I can just hit this, and I believe it will automatically set a marker over to garage H. There we go. Boom, there's our destination. And likewise, if you do have a house, the destinations phone or the locations phone can also show you your rented or owned houses. So let's keep going on here. Of course, next we have a selfie camera. Pretty self-explanatory. It's well, it's a selfie camera if you want to take some nice selfies. Definitely a fun one. So let's close out of that real quick and let's keep moving on. We have these stocks, which again, I have no idea what these are going to be used for. I do know that the Bitcoin, I believe, is going to be consistent. I don't believe the Bitcoin is going to flow, but again, I don't really know anything for sure. But I'm not going to make the same mistake that everyone made in 2.0 and buy a million of whatever, hoping it will go on. So I am not going to probably touch these at all. But these are the different stocks. Again, I have no personal info on what they're going to do, so I recommend not putting all of your money into it thinking, oh, it can only go up. Probably a bad idea. But let's keep moving on. We also have the Find My Location app, which if you know someone else's ID, you can send them a ping, they can accept it, and then you can see where they are, and or I believe they can see where you are, one or the other. But yeah, this is for just pinging people. Pretty simple stuff as well. And the last app is the housing app, which is if you own obviously a house, you're able to both take and store your cars with the house garage, manage your keys for it, lock and unlock all of your houses, decorate your house, set their storage location, set your wardrobe location, and of course set a little back door for it as well. And that's the majority of the apps on the phone. Now of course there is all these regular ones as the phone app for just dialing numbers. We have the messages app, again all pretty normal run-of-the-mill stuff. stuff, we have our contacts, which again we have none yet, and then we of course have Tweeter. Something nice about Tweeter though is that we can actually add in GIFs here, or GIFs, depending on I guess what you think it is. I think it's kind of GIF, but apparently it's GIF. Okay, let's not get into that. But say I type in hi here, we type in GIF or GIF word, and a bunch of different GIFs or GIFs pop up, again depending on what you want to call it, and then obviously you're able to tweet them out like so, and it works pretty well, and I kind of like having those available to you. But that's going to be pretty much it for the phone. Next, we're going to quickly go over the F1 menu, as not much has changed from before, as a lot of the same F1 stuff is still there. So let's open up our F1 menu real quick. Boom. So we have 4 main tabs starting off. Again, these different main tabs will change depending on different things. Like for instance, I believe if I'm near a garage and I go up to my bike and I hold F1, I'm going to see the different garage options here. But starting off, when you're not really in any state or really doing anything that would concern the F1 menu, this is what your F menu will look like on the normal. So starting off, of course, you have blips if you want to kind of mark the different gas stations. We have your different walk styles here if you want to change your walk style. I usually go with casual, so then we change it to obviously walk in a different way. Go back into our F1 menu wheel. Next we have expressions. Here you can change your character's expression. I never change these, but just to get you an idea of what it changes, if we go to electrocuted, obviously we're going to be looking we're going to be looking quite special. But those are the different expressions. Yeah, that one's definitely an interesting one. Next up is going to be the general tab, which is where you'll see most of your stuff. So of course you can escort other players here, see and unseat players from vehicles, give the key to your vehicle, and examine your vehicle. Now there are a couple of ways actually to examine your vehicle. Of course there is that. So if we go up to our bike, we hold F1, go over to general and examine vehicle. It will bring up all of our different mods, which again, all of them are stock. It will show the health of the different mods, as well as the mileage of our vehicle and the plate number, and of course what vehicle it is. So that's about it for the F1 menu. Again, the different F1 menu options will change. Like say you're fishing, there'll be a fishing option pops up, or if you're at a garage, the garage options will pop up. The F1 menu will change depending on what location and what activity you are performing as well. So that's about it for the F1 menu. Next, we're going to go over to the general stores and Utools and show you guys what is available at them. But, you know, obviously to get to these general stores and Utools, it's not going to be super easy on our bike. So before we go over into showing you guys that, I think we should go into the different rental spots, because again, this bike is not really going to work out too easily for getting around. So there are 3 main rental spots on the server at the moment. So if we can stop our bike here, come on, there we go. The first spot is obviously the most obvious, the first one you would think of, a car rental spot where you can rent different cars, which we will go to in just a second to actually rent ourselves a car to get around easier. Next is going to be the boat rental, where you can obviously rent different boats. We will check that out as well. And lastly, the most interesting one to me is that there is actually an aircraft rental spot, which this could be really cool for heists, because I know airports or using helicopters or different air vehicles, you can make some really creative plans. So I'm really excited to see what the prices are for the rentals and everything. That's going to be definitely exciting to see. I'm guessing it is still very high, but let's go ahead over to, again, the first rental spot I talked about, the car rental, and check it out. So I'll meet you guys once we're over there. Alrighty, so we are over at the rental spot. Let's go up to Billy over here. Actually, I think he actually has a name. Let's see. Oh, he doesn't have a name. Okay, poor guy. So from here we can obviously rent different vehicles. I think we're gonna rent the Emperor. I quite like that vehicle, so let's rent it real quick. Boom, we also get a little rental contract, so if we are pulled over by the police, we can actually show that this vehicle is actually rented and not stolen, which is a pretty cool feature in my opinion, because a lot of times, you know, people will use, you know, it's rented excuse when in a stolen vehicle, but now if you actually have a rented car, you can actually show them the rental contract. So pretty cool stuff for sure. But let's head over to the next rental spot and show you that one as well, and where you can rent at it, which would be the boat rental spot. So again, let's head over there real fast. And now we are over at the boat rental location. So let's see what we can rent from here and how expensive it is. Let's get out of our car real quick, go and talk to the guy down here and see what we are able to rent. Also, the water looks so freaking beautiful. But let's go over here, rent a boat. So we're able to rent again 5 different boats. We can rent the Speedster, Suntrap, Squallow, Submersible, or the Tropic. Obviously we're not going to be renting anything since we don't want to waste our money. Also, if you keep seeing these licenses pop up here, that should be fixed by the time that this video goes up. Right now there's just a weird bug where whenever you show someone your ID, it will show it to the whole server, but again, that should be fixed very soon. Also, the odometer, I believe, is going to be possibly removed, as it's kind of a weird thing. It doesn't really look that amazing, so that might be removed as well. Again, this is the first day of launch, so a lot of stuff that you see in this video will probably be changed by the time you're actually seeing the video. But I also completely forgot to mention there's obviously a whole new HUD that you can see obviously in the bottom left. We have obviously our voice meter here, we have our health, we have our armor, food, water, gas, all of that stuff, all that good stuff down there, and I think it's a lot nicer. I personally prefer this HUD a little bit better. I think it looks a lot cleaner, a lot more vibrant than the old HUD, but definitely let me know what you guys think as well. But let's head into the airport real quick and see what we can actually get from these rentals. I'm actually very curious about this because helicopters can obviously be used for a lot of really cool plans in a lot of different ways, and it gives you a lot of creativity to do a lot of different stuff with heists. So let's go over to this rental and check it out though. Alrighty, once again, let's talk to this guy and see what they have. I'm guessing it's gonna probably be more than $500. Helicopters, let's see. Okay, so we can, oh my gosh, that's expensive. So we can rent a Sea Sparrow, a Swift, or a Frogger, all for freaking 25k for a rental. That is very expensive. But you know, if you're doing like a vault heist or a crazy heist and you come down here and rent one and use it to escape, you know, it might be worth it. But yeah, I'm not sure. That price seems very high. But of course, you know, it's probably going to be used for heists, as helicopters and heists are very useful, and you can also make some really cool ones. So I'm excited to see what people do with those rentals. The next thing we are going to be talking about is the emotes menu. Now, it's not very different from the old one, but if we do /em, we're able to bring up the emote menu. From here, you can obviously see all the different emotes. You can also favorite emotes with F and set different keybinds to the different emotes using the function keys. So if you do want to save a certain emote that you use a lot, it's very easy to do it through this way. And to go along with some of these menus, there is also, if we get out here real quick, a /clothing menu, and from here you're able to toggle your glasses on and off, your mask, and your hat. Now, of course, there is the usual command /H1 or /H0 for your hat, /M1 and M0 for your face mask, and then of course I believe /G1 to put your glasses on, or G0 to take them off. So those are all still commands as well if you want to use those instead. But again, now that we have our rental vehicle, let's go check out both the general stores and the Utool. So let's, first off, we're going to start off with the general store since it's closer to us. So I'm going to go head over to one of them and check out what is available at these general stores. All right, so we are over at the Grove Street store. Thankfully, no ball is around to harass us. But let's go in here and check it out. So if we go up to him, we can hold our Alt key to open up our third eye, of course, as this has been there before. We go over the register and we can go to purchase goods. Now we can try and rob the register, but of course we don't have the tools on us to actually do that. If we do that, it will just say you do not have the right tool. But let's go over to purchase goods and bring up the purchase goods menu. And there are quite a lot of different things. Obviously the phone is going to be something essential you need to buy. There's a bunch of different ingredients for the different restaurants around town. You can just buy a bunch of different small food items here and ingredients for the most part. Again, there's not really a ton of stuff at the general stores. They're mostly for the restaurants to use to grab food for them. And of course, let's check out the banking system real quick. Again, it shows a negative 180 here, but if we take out some money, it should hopefully fix that. Again, I think that was something weird. When you're buying your bike, it will sometimes put you in the negative, but I believe, again, stuff like that should be fixed by the time this video is out. There's just a bunch of small day one bugs that are still here, but most of them have already been squashed, thankfully. Also, thankfully, Utool is right by the Grove Street store, so we can just head over here and show you guys what's available at Utool as well. So let's go up to this guy, hold our third eye onto him, go, oh, don't mean to punch him in the face, sorry about that, sir. Go to purchase tools, and from here we can purchase a variety of different tools, such as fishing rods, body kit repairs, oxygen tanks, watches, duffel bags, pots, and of course pickaxes. Yes, they are supposed to be free, since, you know, you don't really need them. They're just kind of a useful item to have. Again, all these prices are subject to change, of course, with this video coming out. Everything might be changed by the time this video is out, but let's keep going on. I don't think there's really anything we can pick up here. Actually, we're gonna pick up a watch because, you know, why not? But let's keep going on and talk a little bit about the illegal stuff on the server. Now, obviously, I can't really show any of the illegal stuff off because all of that would be, of course, metagames instantly. But there is a ton of hidden features. I don't really know any of them, if I'm going to be honest. So even if I wanted to show you guys some of the hidden features, I couldn't show you anyways. But again, in 2.0, there were a lot of different problems with the illegal stuff, but I'm really excited because 3.0 definitely has a lot more thought out criminal system, as we of course learned a lot from 1.0 and 2.0. So hopefully this will be our last real iteration of a 0.0, or at least I hope so, for quite a while. But I think that's going to be about it. Now, lastly, there are some small changes to both the clothing stores, barbershops, and tattoo shops, but it is really just the menu, and I believe we can actually see all the menus from here. So if we bring this up, we can of course change our different tattoos, which again, I don't have any tattoos and don't plan on getting any. And if we're clothing, obviously we could go over to the clothing tab, and if we were at a barbershop, we'd of course be able to change our model. But this is kind of the new menu for all of the different things. We can of course take our shirts off and on here if we want to test out the different tattoos. Again, I definitely am not getting any tattoos anytime soon, but yeah, that's the tattoo shop, and pretty much the clothing store and the barbershop have similar menus, and they are, you know, slightly different from before, but they are pretty similar for the most part. But I do think that is going to be about it for this video. Now, of course, there's a lot of other new stuff that was added in that I did not talk about in this video, because again, I'm going to be making that starter job video instead. But some of these starter jobs, just to go over them real fast before the end of this, is the mining has been completely redone and reworked, so it's all new mining. There is now new fishing system as well. I believe the recycling center is now up north, and I think that's different, although I'm not really one to do recycling, so I'm not sure. The hunting system has been completely reworked as well. The trucking job has been also reworked. I believe all of the jobs that were in or were not in, or I believe all the jobs that were in on this update are all new or updated jobs. But I definitely recommend, you know, hopping into the server for yourself, checking it out. And I'm also not sure if I said so, but there is now 100 slots on the server instead of 90 before, so there was a little small bump to the player count, thankfully, and hopefully it's going to be much needed. And again, that number might change again in the future depending on how popular the server gets, but for now it is at 100. Is this a local fire, or is this a player? You know what, we'll just let him go along. Yeah, we'll just let him go along. Okay then, but I do think that's going to be about it for this video. Now again, there is a lot of stuff that I didn't show, obviously because it'll get metagamed, and there is a ton of hidden features, and we're going to be going into everything a little bit more in the future. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. And again, there was a lot of stuff left out just because I'm trying to get this video out for you guys as fast as possible to kind of show you guys an overview of the server. And hopefully soon I'm going to be releasing some more in-depth guides, such as a starter guide for the server on 3.0 and how to kind of get started with it, as well as all of the starter jobs and me going to do all of them and showing that off to you guys as well. But I do think that's going to be about it for this video. Be sure again to look out. I'm going to hopefully be uploading a lot more JustRP videos once again, and hopefully get into some cool storylines. I also do want to make a cop at some point, which I think could lead to some really fun RP, so be sure to look out for that as well. But I think that is again going to be about it for this video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure as always to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.